G'day, I'm Blxz and welcome back to Geneforge 5. Now, only planning on recording one episode has turned into possibly completing the game. So let's head on in and find out what's in there. The Shaper Citadel. Oh wait, the Citadel East Ward. Perhaps this is going to be a lot longer than I thought. Who knows, let's have a look. Okay. I don't think it's going to be ending quite as easily as I thought. Huh, it was the Western Passes. I'll actually have a look down here just to find out how you get in. Oh yeah, I remember this. I do remember this actually. I actually vaguely remember this area. Either way, we are going into Citadel East Ward. Let's have a quick look at what we find in here. You enter the East Ward of the Shaper Citadel, one of three neighbourhoods surrounding the massive stone dome in the centre. It's a strange and disorientating experience. For the first time since you became conscious again, you're in a place that has not been savaged by war. For a few moments, you experience what peace feels like. Here the buildings are intact. The people seem relatively carefree. Even the mountain air seems cleaner. A stone road stretches off to the west, cutting through the middle of the ward. At the far end is the Shaper Citadel, where soon the Shaper Council will meet, and the future of Terrestria will be decided. Ooh, gives me goosebumps. Commander Kylie. You're hailed by a loyalist commander. He catches up to you very slowly. A recent wound has left him with a horrible limp. You stop so he can catch up to you. He nods to you. I only just heard that you arrived. I am Commander Killy, Watcher of Citadel East Ward. I have a message for you. Where did you serve before you came here? I was in the Storm Plains. I was in Fort Vengeance when the rebels drove us out of it. I was part of the force that General Arwen sent to retake it. Is that where you were wounded? Yes, that was my final assault. My thigh was crushed by a troll's rock. Shaper magic kept me alive, and my days as a campaigner were over. How did you get here? The borders are usually closed, but some people are allowed through. I was very lucky. I was brought up here to be tended to by skilled Shaper healers. It's only because of them that I live. Then I volunteered for duty here. They were kind enough to give me something to do. Are you glad enough to be away from the war? He looks at you as if you're mad. What? They're my fellows. The men and women I fought with fight and die without any help. I would give anything to be with them again. Well, you came to me. Don't ask me if you have to return to your duties. You have a message for me. Yes, I received it the day before you arrived. Just a brief note. Before you can be allowed to meet with the council, you must be evaluated. Go up to the meeting glade. That's all it said. Who was the message from? It wasn't signed. The server brought it from the dome. Said an agent asked her to deliver it. That's all I know. Okay, it's suspicious. Where is the meeting glade? He points to the northwest. Up there. It's an old stone circle. Not used for anything for decades. Probably replaced with a workshop soon. I need to see the council. The council's going to meet soon, but not yet. The Shapers will not be rushed. What should I do in the meantime? You've reached civilization. Visit our stores, stop by the inn, go to your appointment in the meeting glade. The gate will open soon enough. Thank you, thank you. Oh well, I'm not sure what to do. I kind of was expecting a story dump and then the end of the game, but perhaps that's not happening just yet. Could be a whole lot more. Maybe there is going to be a final boss fight or something, because I'll tell you what, that last sort of battle, not hugely challenging. I could be over leveled, but it would have been nice to have had something different. The East Ward of the Shaper Council features a huge, luxurious inn, suitable to the many wealthy and influential people who come from all over. Right now, everyone here is from the coastal provinces, overflow from the other wards. The proprietor of the inn is a large, sweaty man. He's struggling to keep up with the constant demands of his many haughty customers. Eventually, you get his attention. Welcome to the Roasting Orc, finest inn in any of the wards. I'm Steen. Rooms are full, but we have some drinks and a roast meat. What can I do for you? Why are you so busy? It's always like this just before and after council meetings. Everyone comes to try and get the ear of the Shapers. These are the times that keep me in business. Of course, with the war, we manage to get those who can't get quarters in the other wards. I don't particularly care what you're saying here, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, look, honestly, at this point my voice is fading rapidly. Unless you're important, I'm not sure if I'm going to bother reading you. Let's have a look in here. Not much. Okay, it was locked for a reason. No, nothing hugely important in here. I find myself not being very attracted to loot anymore because it's been fairly average for quite some time. I don't think anything's going to beat what I've got. We can't imagine finding any better loot. So let's have a look. Head up to this meeting glade, which will be northwest, he said, so up there, possibly. Incantric selling. Let's have a talk to you. This magical workshop is one of the nicest you've seen since you began your travels. It features the newest innovations in crystal and magical equipment, fresh from the coastal provinces. The alchemist in charge greets you. A travelling adventurer, nothing more I like to see. I am Incantric selling, and I have a variety of goods that I'm selling. Especially since I hear you have the ear of the council. Nice workshop. Well, thank you. Everything clean, everything new. All the best innovations from the artisans of the Nodgy Coast. The Nodgy Coast. To the northwest. I see you've never been. That's where I'm from. Our finest Shaper province, home to all of the greatest artisans. I haven't seen anything like this east of the mountains. She shakes her head sadly. Oh, painful thing. There's a real sales opportunity, but their quarantine makes it impossible to send Astoria and Alwyn the things they want to buy. But if it keeps the rogues from infecting the untouched provinces, it's worth it. Okay, can you teach me any magic? No. The Shapers up here are very touchy about the laws regarding who can learn magic and who can't. It's not loose like it is in the East. And of course, I'm interested in gaining a license to gain more spells and to teach them. But to do that, I need the help of someone who has the ear of the council. She looks at you meaningfully. How do you know I'm going to go see the council? No rumours. Keeping track of who can see the council and who can't is the main way to pass up the time here. What sort of help are you thinking of? Well, say I gave you 500 coins. Might you then see your way to mention my name to the council? As a loyal servant of the Shapers, if it comes up. You know what? Not really. I'm not easily swayed by those kind of bribes. So no, not really in the business. Sorry. I'm more of a mass murderer, personally. I'd like to buy some pods. I will buy those because they've been very useful. Not that I necessarily need them. Okay, let's have a look up here. You're much closer to the Shaper Citadel now. It's an enormous stone dome, centuries old, perched on a mountain peak a few hundred feet above you. There's a tunnel into the mountain face just ahead, which you can use to get up there. It's the greatest work of Shaper architecture, both lovely and terrifying. Its power and remoteness perfectly symbolise the role the Shapers have assigned for themselves in Terrestria. And soon, you'll be inside it. Even with all you have risked, all you've been through, it's frightening. Which is, of course, the reaction the hall was perfectly designed to elicit. Is this the place I meant to go? Eastward Creation Defense? Probably not. Guardian Savage. There was a guardian sitting at his desk, reviewing his records and keeping track of the creations under his care. When he looks up at you, he can't hide the look of disgust. Now, why are you here? I have little to say to you. I am Guardian Savage. Savage by name. Mere guardian to the Shapers, no member of the council. What's your purpose here? I maintain the defensive line of creations, keep them properly maintained, absorb and recreate those that can no longer function. In case the Shaper Citadel is attacked. Yes, of course. It's nearly impossible. I fear there is no way the enemy can get a force this far west, but it's my job to be prepared. After all, one Shaper is an army. Sadly, this applies to Drakons too, darling. I have another question. Guardian Savage looks up at you with irritation. I have nothing to say to you. I see nothing of value coming from our conversation. Can you mean it? Oh, why will you not speak with me? You're at the heart of the Shaper Empire, darling. If our laws have no meaning here, they have no meaning at all. And you were a warped thing, bearing forbidden powers etched into you by forbidden means. Ha! Remember this. Whatever the council says, no matter what you do, your existence is forbidden by our law. And once peace has been won, there'll be a reckoning. Which means... He ignores your question. I only hope I live to see it. Now go. I've worked to defend the dome. Rightio, Guardian Savage. Just a wee bit savage. Dare I say it. Here, I suspect, is where I need to go. Okay. I wonder who's up here. There's a clearing up here, surrounded by crumbling ancient stone pillars. It looks like it was once used for meetings or rituals far in the past. Now it's neglected and overgrown, waiting for someone to build shops up here. 3 figures are waiting for you at the far end of the clearing. You move forward to greet them. They're not gonna... It's Meccan. Is that Meccan? The 3 figures waiting for you are serviles. They're standing upright and they're armed. They must be spies. Fortunately, the batons and blades are not yet pointed at you. Then the servile in the middle pulls back her hood. You can see who it is. It's Meccan. There is a pleasing symmetry to this. She was there at the beginning of your journey. She's here at the end. And yet, she seems very unhappy to see you. Greetings, Lifecrafter, she says. I am glad that you found your way to me. The council meets soon. First we must speak. How did you get here? Do you not know by now? I enter Shaper lands when I please, and I stay as long as I need. Some of us are born with gifts. That is mine. What do you know about the council? That it is about to meet, and that you must speak before it. I must, as always, do what I can for the rebellion. Why do you need to speak with me? She shakes her head. More than speak. When you left the White Spires, I knew that you had power. You could turn that power into influence. I hoped that you would act for justice. Instead, the Shapers were able to win you over. They bought you, as they bought so many others. And now, no one bought me. I sold myself. And now, the serviles raise their weapons. Batons are now pointed at your heart. Meccan looks like he really regrets this, though that's doing you very little good. You have the ability to shift the Shaper Council in a way that hurts the rebellion. You can never be allowed to speak with them. You need to die. I was there when you came out of oblivion. I must now send you back to it. You know what, Meccan? I really do like you. Obviously, I know that my death will make a difference because I am Blxz, the Unbound Killer, and my death would be a travesty to the world of Terrestria. An absolute travesty. And I'm not really willing to kill Meccan without giving her the option to leave, because I do have limited respect for her. It's there. It's limited, but it is there. So, number 2, attacking me is futile. You still have the chance to survive if you leave now. Meccan is proud and independent, but she's still a creation. You can't use your will to control her, but you might be able to influence her. You speak slowly and calmly, trying to shift her course of action. And in the end, she spent... Oh, yes! And in the end, she spent too many years in the mountains with you to be able to kill you. She's a spy, not an assassin. This is futile. I must go east. I must work to protect the rebellion from what will happen. I will not ask for your mercy. I will not abase myself. The next time we meet, I will not stay my hand. Now you do what you must do, and I will do what I must do. The serviles turn away. They're trying to flee the mountains because you can raise an alarm. Or before you can raise an alarm. Go for it, Meccan. Safe travels. Never going to see Meccan again. I liked Meccan. I don't know why. She was a dirty rebel, but she was my dirty rebel. I don't know. No, she was good. I liked Meccan. I found her to be a character with a bit of depth. Oh, you know, all the 3 times I've met her. Once at the beginning, once at the... where was it? I think at Goldring's Spire, or whatever it was. Goldring's place. And then again here. But no, I liked Meccan. Meccan was a good one. If I can click this guy... Medidi? This smithy is very large. There's only one man working right here. Many tools hanging from his belt are all well suited to delicate work. He's circling an anvil, looking at the odd, twisted metal thing on it. He seems lost in thought when you approach him, but you manage to get part of his attention. What angle? Oh, I'm a Diddy. Do you need help? Maybe silver, maybe gold. What are you working on here? Working? Metal pure enough. We'll find out. Component. Shape of machinery. For pylons, I think. Tell me about this smithy. Only me here. The smith hideaway. Do work. Maybe too tangled. Make larger. Would that work? I need better resources. From council. Where did the other smith go? Paid by Northwest Ward. More money there. Better supplies. Went away. Can't blame him. Quicksilver. Could use quicksilver. What sort of supplies do you need? Enchanted anvil. Could do more work. Draw customers. Don't want to restart this thing. Bring people here. Invigorate the ward. But need someone who sees council. Someone to tell them about me. Perhaps I can speak on your behalf. He turns and looks at you. An unusual occurrence. Yeah. That'd be good. Would appreciate it. He returns to his work. A few minutes pass, and you suspect he's forgotten everything he said. Can I sell something to you? He shakes his head, slightly annoyed. Craftsman, not merchant. Go to Schmander's shop. He can buy. Can I buy some of your wares? Quicksilver plate looks kind of cool. Oh, what do we got here? Shaped gauntlets. Nothing spectacular. I mean, it's good stuff, but it's not spectacular. That's all for now, thanks. I'm not going to bother speaking on your behalf because well, not worth it. Schmander. G'day, Schmander. Or Schmader. Fully stocked. Humble merchant. Humble goods. Tell me about your shop. Nothing here. You, for example, are going to see the council, or so I've heard. I want to make sure you have lack for nothing. You want to look out for me, eh? Oh yes, for someone who has the council's ear, you'll find my prices to be most reasonable. What sort of opportunities are you thinking of? I'm pleased you ask. The armies of the East need supplies. The quarantine is regularly broken, so they can be sent food, blades, batons, pods, and so on. And I can deliver better goods for lower prices. However, to get the contract, I must get the attention of a shape with influence. This is difficult. That is why it's so pleasing to meet someone who's going to go before the council. I want to sell you something. That can go. That can go. They can go. Oops. To be honest, I don't need any of this stuff. Pure steel can go. Get rid of the berserker pod, don't really care about it. That should clean up a little bit. So I think what they're trying to do is maybe I can speak on behalf of one of these people and I'll get a reward of some sort. I don't really care for that though. Well, hang on, one more thing up here. I don't really expect to find anything. We'll have a quick peek around this corner and then we'll head into the Citadel. Ooh, what do we got here? Okay. Heavy chitin armor. Rod of succor, succor, whatever. May as well take it. Shaped blade. Again, absolute waste this far in the game. Okay, well, with that, let's head up to the Shaper Council. And I will try to squeeze this in before the end of the game, before the end of this episode. So it might be a bit of a long episode here. Commander Killy, did I already speak to you? Yep, I did. Okay, the Citadel Dome up here. Let's head in. Wow, this is kind of impressive. You enter the Eastern Gallery, the broad marble corridor that curves around the huge central dome. Rows of benches stretch off to the north and south. The wall is punctuated by a number of stone panels, which can be lowered so that spectators can see public events. This meeting of the council, however, is very private. They're all closed. The doorways into the dome have been left open so that you can enter. You can hear the distant echoes of shouting. The council is currently having a passionate argument. You know what? I'm not going to bother exploring. I am kind of keen to push forward. Oh, we have a cutscene. At last you enter the Great Hall of the Shapers, built a century after the foundation of the Shaper Empire. This enormous chamber has spent centuries at the heart of Shaper power. It is enormous. That's repeated that word a few too many times there, I think, Jeff. The floor is polished marble. Centuries of pacing sages, scholars and serviles have worn long paths in the stone. The granite dome arches high overhead. Many generations of serviles have spent their lives climbing up there to remove bird nests. But there is something even more imposing here. Oh wow, the whole council. So it looks like 1 guardian, 2 agents and 3 shapers. You force yourself to walk forward, step by step, a little bit at a time, concentrating on not being overawed by the settings, for this chamber is not the most intimidating thing before you. The entire Shaper Council is in session. Excuse me. All 7 of them are here. The 4 from the central provinces ravaged by war. Rawal, Astoria, Alwyn, Tegan. They are exhausted and their faces are red, worn down by the argument about how their exhausted lands are to be saved. 2 from the coastal provinces, Councillor Sharissa from the Nodji coast and Councillor Nawaz from Lethia province. Wealthy, soft, stylishly dressed, untouched by the struggle, unsure about how to proceed. And their leader, High Councillor Shema. He was once thought the most skilled and wisest of the Shapers, but he's old, his best years have passed him by, and he seems to be exhausted at the moment that requires his greatest strength. I was actually just struck by the fact that I've walked in with a Dracoran following me. This would not end well for me, I would imagine. You watch them, these titans of Terrestria, unsure how to proceed. It takes several minutes of them shouting before they notice you. Rawal is the first to notice you. He stares at you intently for a moment. Then he looks concerned. He has tried to sense the control tool, but he can't. He looks furious. Sucked in. Then High Councillor Shema sees you.
Ah, yes. The mysterious wanderer,
he says in a tired voice.
We are told that you can bring some illumination. Something has to. Please approach.
Okay, well, this is the end of the game. There's Arwen up there. It's the old fella. I assume that's Tegan, which would make one of those to Astoria, probably that one. So is that Rawal? Or is that Rawal? I think that's Rawal then. Possible. You stand before the long stone table, and the members of the council examine you, staring at you as if you were some interesting lab specimen. Hi, Councillor Sherman asks you some basic questions. Your name, where you're from, what you remember. When that is done, there is a long, awkward silence. They wait for you to speak. You wait for them to speak. Everyone is lost in thought, pondering why you've been brought here. And then Sage Tegan surprises everyone by rising and beginning to speak. We have been too weak for too long. We have lost the courage to speak the truth. And the truth is that our greatest creations have turned on us. We have lost control. We made a mistake, and we compound it every day by not admitting it. Our creations were flawed from the beginning. We need to remake them. We need to start over. All creations everywhere are potential rogues. They must be erased. This immediately leads to loud, furious protests from the other members of the council. To eradicate all creations is an appalling prospect to them. Eventually, Sage Tegan silences them by pointing at you and shouting. Look at this person! An outsider who can shape, warped by illegal means, and yet this creature fights for me. A product of the old shaping, almost a creation, who, nonetheless, understands that it is a dead end. Think about this. The purity agent is done. It's ready to be released. In one moment, the war could end. All your struggles, all your fear, gone. This nightmare, we could awaken it from an instant. The rogues will never even touch the coast. I confess, the purity agent has a flaw. It does not work on dracons. However, if released right after Goldring was slain, the only remaining rebels will be a handful of Unbound, a few dracons, and some outsider humans. Victory. He speaks in this vein for some time more, playing to the councillors from the coast. Finally they vote whether to allow Sage Tegan to release the purity agent, in the event that Goldring can first be killed. Alwyn and Astoria, the warriors on the border, vote no. Sage Tegan, of course, votes yes. Rawal, contemplating a future without his army of creations, votes no. But the Shapers who have not been tested by war vote yes. Their terror of the battle reaching them is that great. The vote passes 4-3. And with a few minutes of discussion and several raised hands, it is done. High Councillor Shimon rises and faces you.
A painful decision, and one that we second-guessed for many years. And yet, to end the war and preserve the way of the Shapers, to regain all of Terrestria, it is time to act. We have a plan for a raid against Kazukios. We have had it in hopes of slaying the Dracon Goldring for some time. Alwyn's recent victories make it possible that the raid might succeed. If he can accomplish victory, we will let Tegan end the war. You must prove yourself. Show us that you are not our enemy. Go to Kazukios. Aid the raid. Destroy Goldring. Do this, and the new campaign you have fought for will become a reality.
The High Councillor waves you away. The council turns to discussing the details of the new plan. You turn and go. It appears that you have one final battle ahead of you. East, in Kazukios. That was kind of cool. Slay Goldring. I am only too pleased. Alright, while I'm here, I just want a quick peek. Probably nothing down here. Yeah, nothing at all. I'm just wasting my time. Okay, with that, let's call the episode here. Next episode, we're going to be moving east. We're going to charge east. We're going to cross the line. We're going to go through the wastes between Kazukios and the line. And we are going to take out Goldring. Take care, and I'll see you next time.